I manifested this video before I even understood what manifestation was. 4 years ago, I was working in an Amazon factory, hundreds of miles away from here. And I was very depressed and angry that I'd worked so hard all through my 20s, and this is where I ended up, in a freaking Amazon factory, packing boxes, barely getting by. And I would just sit there packing boxes, and I had visions of myself, just impulsive visions, and I don't even know where they came from, of being out on a beach like this, talking to social media about spirituality. And the beach really was just like this. It was some rocky beach with a cliff by the surf. And at the time, I thought it was Alaska. I thought in order to attain that, I'd have to go to Alaska or something. Turns out it was up in Washington. Only one state over. I was in Oregon at the time. And I didn't know that. 4 years ago, I didn't know that's what I was manifesting. But as I was packing boxes in the Amazon factory, I would just have these visions of me. These impulsive, very cathartic visions of being on a beach, talking to my phone or a camera about spirituality and achieving your dreams. And here I am 4 years later. So I manifested that before I even knew what manifestation was. And here's the thing, I'm not even that much happier. Because really what manifestation is it's you becoming the person that manifests the thing. It took me 4 years to become this person. And I could have cut the timing short if I knew what I was doing. But now that I'm that person, it's just normal. It is just normal to be on a beach with enough money in my bank account to get by and live how I want, talking to you guys about spirituality and success. Okay, I'm not that successful, but I achieved the goal of not having to work, at least for the moment, and being able to just randomly go out on the beach and talk about this stuff. That is manifestation, and it comes from this impulsive feeling. You have to follow the vision. The vision is where the emotion. It's not so much the vision, it's the emotion behind it. I had other visions when I was working at that Amazon factory. I fantasized myself about being in Miami, partying it up with beautiful women. I fantasized myself about trying to make it in the movie business again and moving down to Hollywood. But this is the vision that stuck, because this is the one that had the most emotion behind it. This is the one I didn't have to force in my head. It impulsively, this vision just came up. It impulsively happened. Those are your soul manifestations. See, there's an ego manifestation. See, the birds agree. The birds know exactly what I'm talking about. There's an ego manifestation and an impulsive soul manifestation. Those are the ones that's going to come true. Those are the ones you're going to end up working towards, regardless if you want to or not, because those are the ones your soul came down here to live. My soul came down here to live this moment, talking to you guys on the beach about spirituality and manifestation, telling you how it actually is. What actually manifests is what's in your heart, what's in your gut, and your vision from your third eye. That's just that's just so you can understand it as a human. But your soul-led manifestations is what you're actually going to capable of manifesting. It's actually what you're going to work towards in the long haul. Because see, making the money to move to Miami, to try to make it in Miami when I'm already way past my prime and I got a white beard, it was just my ego thinking that. Same with Hollywood. I'm way past the days of a 20-year-old straight out of college that's suitable to start in that kind of industry right now. And my soul knew that. My soul never wanted that in the beginning. That's why it never led me down those paths in the beginning. It wanted me to be a quote-unquote light worker, a manifestation coach, someone who teaches people about empowerment and spirituality. That's what my soul wanted. But my ego wanted to do all of these very culturally curated things that makes young guys think they should be doing. But my soul already knew I was going to do this in the long run. So when I was miserable at that Amazon factory going, how did my life come to this at 30 years old? How am I here? After all the work I put in, after how hard I tried to be successful in all these other endeavors. Why am I at this fucking Amazon factory? That's why I kept getting these visions. And I couldn't explain, like, I never had the notion to be living as a hermit out near a beach, out near the wilderness, talking to people about spirituality. But those are these vivacious, ferocious visions kept popping up. Me in this exact scenario. What you see here, me on the surf, by the wilderness, talking about fucking spirituality. Kind of like a crazy person with a beard. I didn't have a big beard back then. I had just some, like, a 5 o'clock shadow. But for some reason I imagined myself with a beard too. I imagine it even crazier though. It was kind of like I had a robe and all this other stuff, but this is pretty much the essence of what I was going for 4 years ago. And here I am, I manifested it. And all these 4 years, I didn't even think this is what I was working towards. I worked at a lumber mill. I worked at a juvenile facility youth camp thing. I worked as a prison guard, a correctional officer for a few years. And now I'm here. My manifestation complete. And looking back, I'm realizing this is exactly what I envisioned. And I didn't do it every single day. It wasn't like a vision board or I planned that shit out or I visualized this every night. It was I had several dozen gut feeling manifestations at my lowest time when I was distracted packing boxes and storing items off the conveyor belt in the Amazon factory. And it was such an intense feeling and vision. Like somehow I knew that's where I was going to end up. And then I forgot about it for 4 years. 4 years later, here I am. That's how real soul-led manifestation works. So I would like to say, oh yes, do 10 affirmations a day and visualize this for 20 minutes every night. But chances are those affirmations and those visualizations are something your ego thought up. It's something you think you want because that's what society told you you want. But I bet you every once in a while you have this gut feeling attached to a vision of what your soul really wants. And that's what you're going to end up manifesting, my friend. If you try to fight it, you're going to have a bad time. And even if you do manifest that thing, I bet it's going to feel empty because your soul wants something else. And it's usually not what society has tricked you into thinking that's what you want. Usually it's the opposite of that. It's something really ridiculous and out there, but something that will light you up when you're actually there. Like me right now talking to you guys on this phone. Watching the ravens and the eagles in the air. But here's the thing. You should go for that ego thing anyways. You should go for it because pursuing that, for me, pursuing my novelist career, focusing on that all the time, distracted my ego long enough for my soul to achieve its manifestation. I didn't visualize any of this. I was working on my novel the entire time. I was working day jobs and working on my novel outside of the day jobs. I wasn't doing a bunch of manifestation work. I was just learning about some concepts. But my soul led me to this outcome anyways. Trust your soul will get you there. Trust it's all taken care of. Your path has been forged for you. You just have to release and surrender and work towards your ego goals. I have no doubt in the long run, if I accomplish my soul mission, my ego will be rewarded. One of my books will be published. It'll be successful, maybe years from now, but it will be turned into a novel. And maybe when I'm an old man who's had a family, I'll find myself in a writer's room like I always dreamed of as a kid, helping the executive producers and the screenwriters adapt my novel into a screenplay. My ego goals will have manifested just years later after, and this is the key, after I've accomplished my soul mission, after I've made my soul happy with the manifestations my soul originally came down here to make. which for me is being a manifestation coach, light worker, an empowerment coach. Let's just say that, because manifesting, a lot of people, I don't want to be a manifestation coach because a lot of people just want to manifest what is in their ego, what they're societally trained to want to manifest, which is like a nice car, a beautiful partner, all that stuff. But a lot of times our soul didn't come down here for that bullshit. Our soul came down here for something deeper. So no, I won't be a manifestation coach, but I can see myself, what my soul seems to be calling me is to be an energy worker, an empowerment coach. Because that's what's going to get people to align with their soul-led mission and succeed at that. And then once you achieve your soul-led mission, I have a feeling my ego desires, my childhood ego desires of being a screenwriter, being a famous storyteller, are going to be manifest, but maybe not till years later when I've achieved my soul purpose. That's just the feeling I'm getting. And my feeling led me to here. My feeling back when I was in the Amazon factory packing boxes, and I had visions of myself as this hermit, spiritual guy on a beach talking about these concepts. I forgot how to connect this. I don't know how to connect this sentence. I forgot how I started it, but you know what I'm saying. That the feeling, that impulsive feeling, that's what your soul mission is, and that's what you're going to manifest. Not the ego bullshit.